Yesterday we had a successful launch of our first satellite for the Global Express constellation from Baikonur in Kazakhstan. This is the first one going into orbit, will be closely followed by the next two. Those two will be launched by the summer of 2014, which means that we will be able to provide global coverage through the full constellation by the end of 2014. But Global Express is important because it's bringing for the first time a global consistent Ka-band satellite constellation to the world. So we're going to cover the globe, providing consistent service, which brings, of course, high speeds and high throughputs to passengers and airlines and business jet operators around the world.
The corresponds to that 1.6.
Well, the satellite launcher, the Proton launcher from ILS, has 3 stages. So the first 2 stages really give the propulsion into orbit, and they drop away. And then the third phase, which is called the BREEZE-M phase, the launch vehicle for the satellite, takes the satellite into its transfer orbit. From there, then the satellite is released and it deploys its solar arrays. To give an idea of the size of the satellite and the scale of it, the span of the solar arrays is similar to the span of a Boeing 737 aircraft. Once those solar arrays are deployed, then of course the drawdown of energy from the sun commences and the satellite is positioned into its final orbital slot in geostationary orbit. By maintaining 3 satellites in geostationary orbit, you can successfully cover the whole world and you can maintain service 24 hours a day. GX Aviation is taking the next step forward in terms of technology, but also in terms of capacity in the market, which means that we can offer higher capacity, higher speed, higher performance capability on board aircraft, but at more affordable costs. And that's something which is of primary importance to us, especially in the commercial air transport market, where we know that passengers and airlines are very price sensitive. The interest isn't only in the long-haul carriers, we're also seeing it in short-haul aircraft, and of course I'm sure that's compounded by the recent rulings both in the US and in Europe that we can now connect to our personal devices during takeoff and landing as well as in cruise. It's important here to say that because of the way that we've designed this system from the ground up for mobility, we're very confident that the service level will be there at the outset, and that has been tested in our other markets. Maritime and land-based services in fact go live in the summer of 2014. So a lot of the technology will already have been proven before we go the next step in putting it on board aircraft. Swift broadband is here to stay. In fact, we invested last year in the ground capability that we have, the ground network. We've brought that into Inmarsat's perimeter, and we've upgraded and implemented 2 new Earth stations. So services are continuing. Customers can continue to enjoy those services both in the cockpit and in the cabin. And here also in the cockpit we're developing the Swift broadband services by bringing online Swift broadband, or SB safety as we call it, so that you can bring high data rate IP services into the cockpit now for the first time. We're very, very excited that our first satellite is now successfully in orbit. We look forward to watching the further deployment of the solar arrays and waiting for the first signals of the satellite to return to Earth. So very excited about that and thrilled with the support that we've had from ILS.